Ayo, how's everybody? All right. There's a very nice lady whose name I didn't get backstage who's doing makeup for everybody, but what is it, Amy? Mandy, really nice, but I ducked her, and she's making sure that everybody isn't shiny, but if I'm like, I've got some glare issues going on, I guess whole new spin on light skin. This originally was technology, I want to get it right, technology, humanitarianism, education, oration, design, organization, reasoning, and entertainment. But then Theodore was too long, so they streamlined it. Oh, good. I was sure somebody had done that one already. Bam. I told some relatives of mine that I'm doing a TEDx and that you're not supposed to be too self-congratulatory and all these things, but they're like, good for you. And I was like, oh, humble brag, no big deal. And then I said to one of my relatives, I'm doing a TEDx, and like, you're doing a TEDx? I was like, yeah, I'm doing a TEDx. And they're like, I guess that's cool. I used to go to those when they were called Malcolm. Wait for laughter, and then continue. So a big part of what I'm doing here and what I've been doing here is trying to connect. I've lived in this town of Bend, Oregon, and I started thinking that this was hyper-focused on Bend, Oregon, but really I'm seeing how it applies a lot of other places because I'm getting to travel other places. There's something ironic about asking to be welcomed in by separating yourself out and placing yourself on a stage. For some of us, we have a kind of celebrity walking around in towns where folks think that they've become homogenized somehow and they don't see the nuanced diversity. And I'd like to suggest that there is always a lot of diversity in any community that you're in, but it is a trip at 9 years old to be walking around and have people stop and watch you go by. This is changing in this town. It is, yeah. To give a poetic anchor, I suppose. It goes like this, anyhow. Our preconceptions will inspire our definitions kindling. In shifts we gift our prejudice unto the gods of dwindling. Burning cross and northern star behind the scenes colluding. Tears of joy on sorrow's face. Where there's smoke, follow beauty. Joy has become, and happiness has become, and positivity have become advertised as paramount in this community. I understand the attraction towards those things. And before I get into this piece, I'd like to suggest that we maybe not stack it in a way as one as being better than the other. We know the dangers of stacking one better than the other, when really it's more of a continuum, a spectrum of sorts. Sometimes when we see signs about how good it is, advertised for those of us who live here, we are reminded of what that is connected to, hardships and sorrows and frustrations and friction. We don't like the idea of parsing out one over the other, not when we want to be included. Additionally, with this election, more than ever, since 1992, have I seen Confederate flags all over the place. More than ever in the back of trucks, garages as they're open, windows. I was raised to believe, to equate a Confederate flag with a swastika. I get that response, I do. I don't know how accurate that is all the time, especially considering a swastika predates Nazi Germany. When was the last time I looked up the definition for a confederacy? Do I flinch the same way when I see a flag as when I hear the Confederated Tribes of Warm Springs? What parts of autonomy and individuality and just doing it because we got family and friends around do I actually connect with? The more I read about the history of the United States of America and the red, white, and blue on that flag, how different is it really than the red, white, and blue and the stripes and the bars on the other flag? Is there a difference? Is one better than the other? Can I find ways to make space? I've also noticed in this town, and I should say in this town, unlike the world, there is a minority. Race is a made-up thing that we all agree on, and it has real consequences. It's a fake thing. It's made up, but it has very real consequences. In this town of Bend, Oregon, 2017-2018 census, 357 black African Americans living here, okay? And then being a poet and liking synchronicity and not exactly knowing what it means beyond a wink, behind the scenes, almost 100 years prior to that, in 1920, 357 Klansmen here registered, which I don't know how you register for the Klan, and I shouldn't be making fun of it. It's like something like, it's kind of a big deal. I shouldn't be making fun of it. Somebody's like, I'm going to talk to you later on or whatever. But like, can you imagine like a kiosk that you go up to and you're like, I hate the blacks and the Jews, and I was wondering what size sheets y'all had for me. Like, how does that even work? My goodness. And I'm not trying to get rid of one or make fun of one. If we got rid of racists everywhere, I wouldn't even be here. I got to include my whole family, okay? More Confederate flags, more black folks, more diversity, and hip-hop. And your kids love hip-hop, and you love hip-hop. And all of a sudden, you're like old and you still love hip-hop. And with hip-hop, we take a lot of what's been a burden, what hasn't worked, and we transmute it. And we turn poison into medicine. So you can have the N-word instead of separating folks out, bringing them closer together. And some of your kids get that. Some of your kids actually know more about the word than I do and the whole root system because they spent the time studying it. But I wonder what it's like. Ask me what it's like to feel so superficially different and hear some kids going like, hey, nigga, what's up, nigga? When they identify as white here right now at this school and another school, and one school invited me to come and they wanted me to do an inspirational speech, and I just sat down in a chair and I was like, I hear that there are kids here who identify as white who call each other niggas, and that's what I want to talk about. Like, I'm not going to go back probably. I mean, I would go back. I'd go back. I don't know if they're going to ask me. These are some of the difficult things that I understand if you want to have a real intimate connection in your family. For those of us who have been, blood relatives and by marriage, and it's hard. And you have hard conversations, and you have to get into that stuff. And maybe it's not in a grand place like this. Maybe it's one by one, where you can be a little bit more quiet. You can find out what works for that one person and not the entire group, but just for them. So that is one way to introduce this piece I'm going to do for you. And it goes like, you got me feeling run down. When the sun's down, that's when I come alight, feeling like a werewolf out on a full moon, sound of the bloodhounds at night. Got me feeling wanted, got me feeling haunted, got me feeling hunted alike, feeling like a black witch up on your black list, sound that the black whip invites. Like, let me tell you a little true, happy ain't a paramount feeling. Let me tell you a little true, happy ain't a paramount feeling. That's the truth. Let me tell you a little true, happy ain't a paramount feeling. That's the truth. Let me tell you a little true, happy ain't a paramount feeling. I don't wrestle with depression, correction, interjected. I wrestle with fake front facade, masks that we're wearing out, wearing thin, wearing in public. Too taboo to show the boo-hoo, to show the wounds deep, to show the heartbeat. Just show me something, show me something, just show me something, just show me you think, fresh is an acquired taste. Raw is an acquired taste. New is an acquired taste. Freedom is not an escape. Give me liberty. Or give me death, or is that the same thing? 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 I don't wrestle with depression, correction, interjected. I wrestle with fake front facade. If it's not all good, then I call bluff to anybody, anywhere, whoever gave guts. This is a stick-up. They're gonna steal you if for yourself you don't stick up. I want that real love. Stop acting so tough. Hard as a rock, have you ever met dust? Evolution's crawling from the seas, makes rust, walks on water versus fish with feet that lead us. Chuck T, Chuck D, Chuck Jesus. They say US, they say us. First ones, two new neighbors. to you white kids saying nigga to the big flags back of your pickup got me feeling run down. When that sun's down, that's when I come alight. Feeling like a werewolf out on this full moon. Sound of the bloodhounds at night. Got me feeling wanted. Got me feeling haunted. Got me feeling hunted alike. Feeling like a black witch up on your blacklist. Sound that the black whip invites. Like, let me tell you a little truth. Happy ain't a paramount feeling. That's a truth. Let me tell you a little truth. Happy ain't a paramount feeling. That's the truth. Let me tell you a little truth. Happy ain't a paramount feeling. That's the truth. Let me tell you a little truth. Happy ain't a paramount feeling. It goes to you white kids saying nigga to the big flags back of your pickup. I got this white flag. I'll never give up. I got this white flag. I'll never give up. I got this white flag, I'll never give up. I got this white flag, I'll never give up. I got this white flag, I'll never give up. I'll never give up. I never give up. Give up. Give up. Give up.